The idea that exercise alone can offset poor dietary choices, or vice versa, is a persistent myth, especially in discussions about cancer prevention. Many people lean on the hope that one healthy behavior can cancel out another unhealthy one, a vigorous run to undo fast food, or a vegetable-heavy diet to make up for a sedentary lifestyle. But when it comes to cancer risk, this substitution mindset can be dangerously misleading. While both exercise and diet independently contribute to reducing cancer risk, they work best in synergy. Neither is sufficient in isolation, and each targets different, but complementary, biological mechanisms involved in cancer development and progression. Physical activity has well-established protective effects against multiple cancers, including breast, colon, and endometrial cancer. It improves immune surveillance, lowers levels of circulating insulin and estrogen, and reduces systemic inflammation, all of which play key roles in tumor initiation and growth. Regular movement also helps maintain a healthy body weight, an important buffer against at least 13 cancer types. But even in people of normal weight, inactivity can drive metabolic changes that elevate cancer risk. Sitting for prolonged periods, independent of body size, is now linked to higher mortality from several causes, including cancer. So exercise isn't just about burning calories. It rewires core physiological systems that influence disease. On the other hand, diet influences cancer risk through its impact on gut microbiota, hormonal balance, oxidative stress, and nutrient availability. A fiber-rich, plant-centered diet improves insulin sensitivity, reduces inflammation, and supports DNA repair. Certain bioactive compounds, such as flavonoids, carotenoids, and polyphenol, may modulate gene expression related to cancer suppression. Meanwhile, excessive intake of red and processed meats, refined carbohydrates, and sugar-sweetened beverages can fuel carcinogenic pathways through insulin spikes, lipid oxidation, and inflammatory signaling. Diet also affects visceral fat accumulation, which secretes hormones and cytokines that promote tumor growth. A healthy diet, then, does more than nourish. It shapes the metabolic environment in which cancer either flourishes or fails to take hold. But the effects of diet and exercise are not interchangeable. They operate through overlapping but distinct mechanisms. Exercise improves insulin sensitivity primarily by increasing glucose uptake in muscle, while diet influences insulin levels more directly through carbohydrate and fat intake. Physical activity may reduce estrogen exposure by altering menstrual cycle length or fat distribution, while diet influences estrogen metabolism via gut flora and fiber intake. These mechanisms don't compete, they complement. Studies show that individuals who combine healthy eating with regular exercise consistently have lower markers of inflammation, like CRP and IL-6, better glucose control, and healthier lipid profiles than those who adopt only one of these behaviors. Large cohort studies back this up. Data from the American Cancer Society's Cancer Prevention Study and the European Prospective Investigation into Cancer and Nutrition, EPIC, consistently show that people who follow both dietary and physical activity recommendations have significantly lower cancer risk and mortality than those who adhere to only one. In breast cancer survivors, for example, combining physical activity with a high-quality diet improves survival more than either factor alone. In colorectal cancer, exercise reduces recurrence risk, but only when coupled with a diet low in processed meats and high in fiber. The synergy is real and statistically significant. Still, many fall into the trap of overvaluing one factor while neglecting the other. Fitness enthusiasts who train intensely may rationalize poor eating habits, assuming their workouts provide sufficient protection. Meanwhile, some who follow strict diets believe they can afford to remain inactive, especially if they are thin. Both assumptions ignore the multifactorial nature of cancer and its links to metabolic dysfunction, immune disruption, and chronic inflammation. Exercise cannot reverse the damage done by a pro-inflammatory, nutrient-poor diet. Nor can kale and quinoa repair the cellular stress inflicted by physical stagnation. There is also the danger of interpreting exercise as a license to indulge. Some research suggests that people often overestimate the calories they burn through physical activity and underestimate the metabolic damage from processed food. In the context of cancer prevention, this calorie math is almost irrelevant. What matters more is the long-term hormonal and inflammatory profile shaped by daily habits, not the balance of a single day. Trying to outrun A poor diet is a flawed and potentially harmful strategy when cancer is the concern. In high-risk populations, such as those with a family history of cancer, obesity, or insulin resistance, the need for a dual approach becomes even more urgent. Metabolic abnormalities that fuel cancer often go undetected until it's too late. Exercise and diet together provide a buffer, fortifying the body's defenses before genetic vulnerabilities are triggered by environmental insults. This preventive layer is especially important in aging populations, where mitochondrial function declines and inflammation naturally increases. Relying on only one tool, no matter how powerful, is simply not enough. In conclusion, exercise cannot replace diet, and diet cannot replace exercise in the fight against cancer. They are not redundant but synergistic forces, each addressing different pieces of a complex puzzle. Together, they regulate the metabolic, hormonal, and immune systems that determine whether cancer-promoting processes are activated or suppressed. Reducing cancer risk requires more than isolated behaviors or shortcuts. It demands a comprehensive lifestyle strategy. In the end, the body remembers every choice we make, not just the ones we try to compensate for later.